Welcome to the instructional video on the DI Handbook, the Drug Information Handbook from Lexicomp. This is probably the most popular and most purchased as far as personal copies go of all the print resources that are available to you as far as drug information goes, particularly for general things. This is a very general reference book. And if for no other reason than because it's still fairly inexpensive compared to some of the other books, and it's still very portable. It's a fairly small book compared to some of the massive books that you may use, like the HFS or fax comparisons. Getting into it, there are going to be some fairly general monographs. Now, these are not going to have the kinds of in-depth discussions and in-depth explanations of every kind of adverse reaction, delving into the primary literature. This is not the place to find that. It's going to be organized alphabetically by generic name. If you don't know the generic name and you look up for the actual brand name, usually there will be a See Also reference somewhere within here. It'll tell you the proper place to be looking, what page to be looking on. But as you can see, the information is pretty simple and pretty straightforward. There are a few things that it does that some of the other print resources may not do quite as well. It does give things like Canadian brand names, but in general, it's going to be a very, very succinct snapshot of what's going on with each individual monograph. This is really almost a watered down version of a package insert. So if you're coming here to look for, dosage forms, very basic pharmacology information, pregnancy categories, uses, it does include a very easy to find section on off-label uses if there is such a thing for a given drug. That information is all going to be in here, but it's definitely going to be probably the most. Whereas HFS is a very, very in-depth resource, this is going to be one of the most surface-oriented ones that you have access to. Now, in addition to the standard monograph, which we see here, there is, and it's marked by this, you can see the edge of the page is actually marked with this black bar, so it's easy to get to. There is a huge section of appendices that have a wide variety of different useful charts, tables, informative sections beyond just the monographs. This is one of the things that makes the DI Handbook stand out from some of the other things. And honestly, it's one of the things that makes the DI Handbook stand out even from its computer version, let's say its online version in the form of Lexicomp. There are things that are much easier to find in the actual print version of these appendices than they are using the electronic version. In fact, some of them I honestly don't know that it's almost impossible to use them online the same way you can in the print. The thing to be aware of is if you want to find out what's in this appendix, there's actually a table of contents at the beginning of the appendix section. So if you're looking for what's in the back there, don't look in the front of the book, don't look in the very back, look at the beginning of the appendices to see all the various things. And actually some of the most useful ones, and ones that you'll be using in PSA class a lot, are the miscellaneous section. And this is going to include a variety of different things that some of them are, they're very specific, but it's information that's really hard to find sometimes all in one place like this, and it's definitely not as easy to get a hold of other places. Things like discoloration of urine due to drugs, laboratory detection of drugs in the sense of how long is a given controlled substance, can it be detected in someone's urine. All that sort of information is going to be available to you in these books. There's also other things about vitamin K content, some other things. Keep in mind, use this book. You'll probably use this book more than any of the other ones that you have in class when you're doing lab practicals, things like that. It's definitely a great resource to use because it's so convenient and it's very simple to use. The monographs are not overwhelming. And make sure that you get a good sense for all the different appendices that are in the back there. Spend some time in there to see what's actually available to you. If you have any questions about this book, make sure you ask someone at the library or one of your pharmacy professors. And thanks for watching.